It's time for SideScrollers from ScrewAttack with your hosts, Stuttering Craig.
But part of the celebration is also playing Ultimate Party Challenge for the Wii and listening to the greatest hits from the early 1990s.
Chad.
Hey, Chad!
And Professional Jared.
Chad, for you guys!
And now, broadcasting from the World ScrewAttack headquarters in Dallas, Texas, it's the SideScrollers.
Welcome back to SideScrollers on ScrewAttack.com. What's going on, everybody? Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. Dick Punch.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Professional Jared. What?
Yeah.
Welcome to the most entertaining 30 to 45 minutes of your video game week. The #1 video game podcast on our website and YouTube channel.
Just moving past the whole dick punch thing? That's cool.
Huh?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
All right.
Welcome, everybody.
All show.
It is going to be a great week this week as we have so much stuff going on. We are back on track after last week's just absolute travesty of 30 to 45 minutes of your video game week. We are here, ready to rock. We are excited, and we have so much stuff we need to talk about. But first, before we do, let's talk about some of the stuff you need to check out on the site this past week. As always, if you want to see any of this stuff, you can look in the description below to find this stuff. And I'm going to tell you about what they are right now, including the grand opening to where we were at last week. When we were at Vegas, we were at Insert Coins. You need to go out and check out exactly what makes Insert Coins so great. Did you guys enjoy Insert Coins?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy Insert Coins?
I had a bunch of fun.
I had Jared's.
Why did you hit me?
It was more like, hey, pal, type of thing.
Ow.
And then I came back and actually punched Chad.
Oh, okay.
So it's better. He took more than
It's
one.
better than a dick punch, I guess.
I'd say, what? So yeah, Insert Coins, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. They had a bunch of arcades and a bunch of consoles and stuff, and it was awesome. It was a good atmosphere.
Yeah.
Lots of neon lights and fun.
I really liked the artwork they had all around the walls.
Yeah, it was really
I
cool.
really liked a lot of
They're
that.
gonna have like exhibits like that.
Really?
Yeah, that's not like a permanent thing. They're gonna change that
Oh.
area out. So
That's sweet.
That's gonna be pretty neat. I like that. My favorite one was the Mega Man.
Yeah, we got like the three lines of Mega Man with like Mega Man Center and then all the Robot Master
For Mega Man
powers.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
for
awesome.
sure. Also, we had our review of Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 9, Mortal Kombat,
call it
Mortal Kombat
Mortal
2011, Mortal Kombat.
MK9.
I love the game. Brian reviewed it. I personally have been playing it every night. I don't know about you guys.
Nice.
Have you been playing it?
On and off. I mean, all I did Saturday was play it. I turned on story mode and then didn't put my stick down until I beat it. So
I haven't played it the last couple of nights because I've been playing Portal 2. But I'll get back on it.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited about MK and just kind of excited to see where they take the series from here on out because clearly they hit the head of the nail, I guess.
The sweet spot.
Yes, it's perfect game. I love it. It's
Yeah,
exactly
it's a
what
lot of
Mortal Kombat's all about and exactly what you'd expect a reboot to be about. But
more
it's not
balanced.
about what I think. It's about what Brian thinks. Did Brian like it?
Yes, he liked it.
All right.
review.
We also had a VGR review on Moondiver, which was a game not a lot of people knew about. It came out. It was it was made by the dude who came up with Strider a few years
Strider
back.
in space.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
space.
2011 Strider, kind of like a reboot without the name Strider attached to it. So
That was pretty cool.
yeah, good stuff. I was the one kind of playing that, and Nick reviewed that. So go and check that out as well. Also the clip of the week, and a review on Portal 2. Man, we've been doing a lot of reviews lately.
Yeah, we
People go,
have.
you guys do a lot of reviews. It's because there's a lot of games that are out right now, so we need to talk about what's going on. Okay,
We'll join him now because there's like nothing coming up for like the next 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, like
Until-
Brink and LA Noire. And
Until LA Noire, which I'm going to be all over that.
we got one more review on the way, and that is for Conduit 2. That'll be going up this
yeah.
Thursday, so tomorrow, for all you fans of.
And next
Conduit.
week is the next reboot of Retro on the Super Nintendo Final Fantasy II versus the Final Fantasy IV Complete Collection for PSP.
Yes, and if you don't know what Reboot or Retro is, YouTube crowd, you need to check that awesome series out. It's really, really good. Jarrett mans that up.
Like a man.
Also, if you want to be entertained, you should head over and check out the most recent death battle, which is Dig Dug versus Bomberman. Was that the next on your list?
Nope, but it is now. All right.
Totally forgot.
Well, it's right there on my list. It's not
Okay.
blue. It's red because it, whatever. All right.
Retro battle.
Yes. All right. So there you go. Enough shilling for the content that you're probably not going to watch anyways. But if you want
Hey!
to, I'm just saying it's YouTube. They don't know we have a website. Most of you guys don't.
Well, they know about death battle.
I'm just saying. All right. So you guys
Watch
can
that
follow
though.
the links below. All right. But right now, it's time for my favorite segment. Your favorite segment, Brian. Everybody in the world's favorite segment.
Okay. I don't
It's
think
time for
he does.
hard news.
All the base news from this past week. It's time for
All right, let's get into it.
All right, as always on Hard News, I'm going to take some of the bigger stories from the previous week and talk about them this week. First one, since we're just talking about Mortal Kombat and how much we loved it, what system did you guys get Mortal Kombat on?
360.
360? Chad?
360 for me, but I almost went PS3.
Why did you almost win PS3?
Because they have an extra character. But I was expecting it to be downloadable for 360, so that's why I went.
Well,
That's you can't download Kratos.
I'm hoping to.
What?
not going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's one of the bigger
My brain's
stories.
hurting.
The PlayStation 3 edition of Mortal Kombat 9 obviously got Kratos as an exclusive character. So for the longest time, people were speculating what exclusive character are they going to get on the Xbox 360.
Right.
They aren't going to get any.
Oh.
According to an
Bastards.
interview with Ed Boon, the creator of Mortal Kombat, who pretty much said he's not allowed to talk about it too much. But basically what he's saying is that he wanted to do an exclusive character for the 360, and he had a lot of ideas, but some unnamed higher-up pretty much said, no, you cannot. For reasons unknown.
Boned.
They were talking about doing Master Chief, of course, possibly Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War. A lot of ideas, but someone just said no.
I don't think I can see either of those. I can't see Master Chief getting his head ripped off. I can't see him getting his arm ripped. Plus, he was already in Dead or
DOA.
DOA, but
Kinda.
wasn't Master Chief. It was the whatever.
Well,
So
that was my first thought, is maybe like the whatever higher up said that they didn't want them in there so they wouldn't get murdered in front of their eyes. That way, Master Chief getting his head ripped off by Scorpion.
I could see
Yeah.
I could see Marcus Phoenix, but I can't really. What's he gonna do? Kick the entire time? You know, like isn't that what they do? And they chainsaw.
His
and-
one move is curb stomp.
Yeah, exactly. Just go in and use his chainsaw and curb stomp the entire time. So I don't know.
He'd just be like a bigger, beefier striker with a bunch of guns.
But real quick, aren't they gonna add? Doesn't the 360, because they're not getting the character, aren't they adding some additional things?
Well, kind of. It's a very minor consolation, but basically the 360 owners are going to get the downloadable character Scarlet for free.
Oh,
Okay.
dude, that's cool.
Scarlet, really?
Yeah, look, never played her before. No one's ever played as her before. I think that's really cool.
Well, Scarlet doesn't have like the same kind of caliber as Kratos.
Yeah, but I mean, I haven't seen many Kratos matches online. I think Kratos is more of a
Because
novelty.
you're playing the 360
Yeah.
version.
Well, no. I mean like YouTube. I mean on YouTube and such.
okay.
I haven't seen many matches. That's what I mean by that. But I don't know. I actually think Scarlet's way cooler than Kratos personally, because you know what you're gonna get with Kratos. You know what you're gonna
Yeah.
get. You have no idea what you're gonna get with Scarlet. And the mystery to me makes it that much better. And
I guess, well, they can still get it, they just have to pay for it, right? It's just 360.
Yeah, the
for free.
PlayStation 3 owners
Yeah.
can still get Scarlet, does, so they pay for it separately. I don't know. I'm not too
Well, at
excited
least
on
you don't have to pay
Scarlet.
for it.
I'm down with that.
If Scarlet's awesome, then I'll be happy. But if she sucks, yeah.
I think it's cool. I really do.
I stand
I
by
would rather
Kratos.
have Scarlet than Kratos. You know, that's just me personally. So.
Next story. Mega Man Legends 3 has been in development for the 3DS. Like, the team has just started developing for the game just because of love of the series. And they pretty much said that you're going to be able to play it next month when the eShop channel for the Nintendo 3DS goes online. The eShop channel is basically their virtual console / WiiWare / DSiWare, only for the 3DS. It's going to be on their day one. It's going to be called Mega Man Legends 3 Prototype. So it's not even a demo. It's like a very, very, very early build of Mega Man Legends 3.
That's cool.
Interested?
Yes, I am. I'm actually not.
Really?
I'm actually not that big into the Legends series, but I think that if, there's never been a demo for me to play of the first two to really draw me in. So while this isn't necessarily a demo, it
Yeah.
is something that I'll definitely check out. I mean, what's
the harm
the
in it?
drawback? You go back, you play it for 5 minutes, and you're like, oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool, or hey, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know?
I guess the biggest thing is that they didn't say if it's going to cost anything. But if I had to
I
guess,
assume it'd be free.
if I had to guess, I think it's going to cost something, but it can't be any more than like $1 or $2.
Yeah, how can you
'Cause,
charge
like, it's
for
not
a
even a
prototype?
demo; it's a prototype.
I don't know.
I don't think they should charge for it.
I agree.
really don't.
No, you can't charge for that. You can't. Absolutely not. I mean, it's not even a demo. People don't even charge for demos. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
That's unless you're Capcom. Sorry, Jared. Dead Rising. But I don't know. For me personally, I'll definitely check it out. I think it's exciting. I think it's something to entice people. A lot of the 3DS owners have been like, well, the launch lineup was really crappy, and a lot
Yeah.
of the detractors. But if a company like Capcom, Well, I guess Capcom, they are making this, whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
going
Well,
back on my previous statement.
What's more important about
hit
this
me.
whole prototype thing is that depending on how many people get it, determines the future of the game. Because aside from people who get the prototype, will be able to give their feedback directly to the developers and say this is what should be in there and actually get their ideas in there. Capcom is yet to officially say that they're going to publish Mega Man Legends 3. They're just developing it right now out of a labor of love.
Yeah. Huh.
And what they're saying is that if enough copies of Prototype get bought or downloaded onto 3DSs, then Capcom will definitely publish Mega Man Legends 3.
We're kind of like we're kind of watching a reality show, like a video game reality show in front of us. And really, we are.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, you're fate. You control the fate of this game. Do you want it or not? You know. So, and what is the number? Are they going for 500,000 people downloading it? Are they going for 1 million people? Once they reach 500,000, are they going to say, well, it would really be great if they had 750,000?
If they are charging, are they using that to fund it? Like,
Well, that's another thing. That could very well be a possibility. That's why it wouldn't surprise me if they charged it like $1 or $2.
You think people would be down with that if they were to charge $1? People would, and they were to say this would directly fund the game.
If it was like $1, absolutely, I would do it.
What if they didn't? What if they didn't put it in production? What if not a lot of people did it?
It was $1.
Okay, I'm just saying because
Yeah.
I think people would go. I put $1 into that. I want my $1 back.
well, dude, here's the thing. Like, I think it's a good way to determine like what people would actually buy it.
Yeah.
Because if they just release this demo, then like anybody, you know, it's just like, oh, I can get this for free. Whatever. You know, they'll download it, so it's a hard way to check their numbers of who might actually purchase the game.
Well-
now if they do have a charge, even if it's just like $1, that puts like a whole nother level of, oh, now I actually have to want to play the game enough to at least invest a little bit of time and money to put this in, you know?
Listen, speaking
So-
from experience, $1 in the digital space is extremely hard to get out of somebody, and we know from texting the bread. Our game is $2, $1.99. You get 10 hours of gameplay plus whatever you want to do in from the survival mode.
Right.
And that's like pulling teeth. People are like, well, it's $1.99. I don't know. You know, so you really need to make
People
sure
are
the
so
value.
cheap.
Especially online, they're extremely cheap.
Right,
But they went and bought 2 mocha frappuccinos at Starbucks this morning for $15. You know,
it's true. It's pretty funny.
it's there's definitely a contradictory thing when it comes to buying something online, but you know, personally, if it was $1, I wouldn't buy it. You know, calling the kettle black, I wouldn't buy it. But if it's a demo, it's like, would you rather risk me not buying this prototype for $1 and playing the demo? Let's say I download the demo for free, I enjoy it, I buy the game for $30 or $40, whatever
Right.
it is for the DS, or do you want to make that $1 for me from the prototype version? You know, it's like what do you?
Yeah.
You know, you gotta weigh the scales a little bit. So.
See what happens.
Interesting standpoint. Yeah, I'm curious. I plan on picking it up either way because I actually like the Mega Man Legends games.
$20.
Next story. Somewhat of a surprising interview from Shigeru Miyamoto from last week. They're talking about the 3DS. Now that 3DS is out, they're saying that they can concentrate more on getting games out instead of focusing so much on hardware. They're talking about the 3DS, and he was saying that he fully anticipates there being a lot of 3D remakes on the 3DS, and he's okay with that. I mean, obviously, you already got The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, like
Star Fox.
Street Fighter 4, Star Fox. He was saying, like, he wants to do more. And one specific title he said he wants to do was The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past for the 3DS. Which,
Easy there, Craig.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, okay.
which The Link to the Past is easily my favorite Legend of Zelda game of all time. So having that again, it'd either ruin it or make it awesome. I'm not sure. I kind of want to be skeptical on that.
Yeah, we'll define remake.
Remake would be like 3D graphics, different viewpoints and all that. Like, I know
That'd be
people are saying, well, they had
crazy.
Legend of Zelda Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance. That wasn't a remake, that was a port. Like, it was basically the same game. Sure, they threw in Kid Link voice and...
Well, see, that's what I'm wondering if like he may just do a port, but set up all these 3D elements, you know, for the 3DS.
Well, I mean, Ocarina of Time is pretty much a port too. They just added a few new features to it.
Right, but it was already in 3D, or not 3D, but like it was already 3D modeled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like this could be.
Well, I wouldn't want them to remake Link to the Past with the same elements of Ocarina of Time to where it is 3D modeled and such, where you're running around like
Because then
that.
it will be pretty much the same game.
Yeah, I think that it should definitely still be over the top view,
Yeah.
a la you know.
It'll just
a
be
regular-
Ocarina of Time, only Link will have his purple-pink hair.
Yeah, it's silly that a remake excites me like that.
Yeah.
But I would buy it because I haven't bought A Link to the Past in 20 years.
A long time.
You know, so it's one of those things where I would totally be down with it.
Look what it's
And
getting to in the industry. I haven't bought that game in about 20 years. It's about, I should buy it again.
There's
you know
an
what I mean?
entire market for that. There's an
I know.
entire market for people who like the original game, and if they just upgraded the graphics, they'd buy it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to think that we've caused that market. ScrewAttack, like ScrewAttack, and sites that have spawned that have been just like us, you know, that have put an emphasis on retro stuff. You know, whether it's been our vaults and such, and like, you know, like the nerd, put the emphasis on retro stuff has spawned this retro revival, you know, and I don't want to toot our own horn, but I mean, I think that we've really been at the forefront of wanting that to happen. So
Let's face it, we were the direct cause of the retro revival.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think that we've had a big role in it. I mean, when did it start? A couple years ago.
Sure.
How long has ScrewAttack been around? I'm just saying. You know, I think that and the YouTube people online, you know, playing the Let's Plays and such. I think it's all been one giant effort.
All right. Let's hard news.
Okay. There you go.
There we go.
Whatever. All right. So, okay, one thing I noticed you didn't talk about this week was the super mega rumors coming around with Project Cafe. So I figured for the middle segment this week, as opposed to busting out the topic wheel, we bring it back to Jared and we talk about Project Cafe / Project Butterfly / Wii 2 / whatever. So
These things have been running rampant since about 2 weeks ago now. Basically, it's been a crap ton of rumors all about what Nintendo's next console is going to be, and there's been like pretty much two major ones. There's been Project Butterfly and Project Cafe. And for the middle segment, we're just going to basically talk about what we want to see from Nintendo's successor console. People are calling it Wii 2, which is stupid.
clearly not the case.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So whatever their successor console is going to be. The first one to talk about is what they called Project Butterfly.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have as much depth to it as Project Cafe, but still a couple interesting points, especially if it's true. One of them being that it'll have Blu-ray support, which would kind of be a big deal because that'd be like a step above what 360 has in terms of hard drive space and capabilities. And it would be a DVD player / Blu-ray player.
Exactly.
Predicted it already. Just saying. All right, yeah.
The other thing is that probably the bigger part of it is that the console itself is supposedly last you a lifetime. How? Well, instead of buying a new piece of hardware every 5 years, you buy new components that goes into the Project Butterfly, which upgrades it so that it can play the newer things, much like the 32X / 60.
That's all I can picture every time.
I don't think it's fair.
By the end, it's just this monstrosity.
I don't
like,
think it's fair to relate those. I really don't. Even if this is like, you know, I think the Project Butterfly thing has totally gone out the window because I think the Cafe thing has way more traction. But I don't think you can compare them to the 32X and the Sega CD add-on to the Genesis. I really don't think so.
I think
just strictly based on technology now. You know, you're not looking at adding something, this giant piece of cartridge on top of your console. You're looking at adding like a tiny little, you know, SD card that can update things. And this we're talking 5 years from now, so you don't even know what the technology is going to be in 5 years, you know?
I don't know if it'd be as small as like an SD card. Like in my head, I was seeing it more as like a PC, where you just upgrade your video card or upgrade the processor or the RAM or anything like that.
Right, but
Something closer
eventually
to
you
that.
have to get a new motherboard, you know? And eventually, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's Project Butterfly, and like I said, there really isn't much to that aside from that. Now, the bigger one is obviously Project Cafe, and this one's much more legit. Well, for the most part.
From what
that picture?
From the other rumors that have been going
Yeah.
on. Not so much the picture, but
Now, for Project Cafe, biggest ones that they're saying is that it is going to be a super HD console to target it back towards the hardcore market. It's supposed to have more processing power than the Xbox 360, than the PlayStation 3. No idea of what kind of drive support on it or hard drive or anything like that. They're saying that the Project Cafe controller is going to be something radically different than what we've seen before. Not like even an upgraded Wii remote, but something even further different from that. They're saying it is going to have a standard controller, 8 buttons, 2 analog sticks, a camera on it for whatever, and then a 6.2-inch touchscreen on the controller.
That's so weird.
Which kind of scares me.
Same
To
here.
kind of give you an idea of how big that touchscreen would be, have you seen the DSi XL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has a 4-inch touchscreen.
Yeah.
This is 2 inches bigger than that. So this is like
Jesus.
a really wide controller. It's like Game Gear size.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
If you were to put a Game Gear in your hands nowadays,
Yeah.
it's pretty ridiculous.
They're saying that like the touchscreen be used to have like its own buttons and stuff on there that you can rearrange to however you want, or basically work as like the DS's second screen where you got everything going on above you and then have like your inventory and health down below or something like that.
This,
I don't know how I feel about it, man.
yeah, I think it just comes down to how good it's going to feel in your hands, and the
Yeah.
lack of physical buttons, I think, is something that totally that you need as a gamer.
Well, they said
Yeah,
they're
you
going to have
absolutely
both
do.
analog sticks and all the buttons on it. Well, rumored, I should say. They also said that it is going to support Wii remote style controls, so no one's sure if it's going to have like a second controller for that kind of things or just use the Wii remote itself.
This entire system
um,
in my mind is just getting ridiculous.
I know. Well, like one of the rumors I remember reading was that the camera on that basically would function as the sensor bar that the Wii currently has, only without the sensor bar. So instead of like pointing at the sensor bar, it uses the camera to sense where it's pointing, much like they did with the 3DS.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the controller is pretty intimidating to me, and I think it's going to be to a lot of people. And I know that the whole idea behind this console is to kind of get back to the hardcore audience.
Yeah.
I don't know if the hardcore audience wants a giant touchscreen on their controller.
No, and they're going to be so expensive.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
it'd be really-
it's a new
really
console.
expensive.
It's going to be expensive,
Yeah.
and when you want to buy a second controller for the console, or third or fourth, yeah, it's going to be pretty
It's gonna be
pricey for
ridiculous.
It's going to be
everybody
like
to play.
$80 just for another
And
controller.
let's be honest, controllers break, and some people throw controllers and shit. That's
Yeah.
going to be like,
Getting a touchscreen controller in the hands of a kid,
yeah.
not a good idea.
Yeah, but
I mean, like I've seen some pretty bad DSs, and it's gonna be the same thing with a controller.
But it's not designed for them though. It's designed for the hardcore.
They're gonna get it either
gamer.
way.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, we both worked at game stores. We both know how many controllers come back
yeah.
broken or just abused to all hell. I mean, it happens with a lot of people. So when you make a controller that expensive, I don't know,
It's
not good in my book.
I was talking to it was Easter weekend this past weekend, and one of my cousins was like, "So what's new in the video game world?" I was like, "Well, Nintendo's supposedly coming up with this new console or whatever. It's supposed to be for the hardcore gamer." And he was like, "Really? What's it supposed to be like?" And I was kind of telling him all about the controller, and he's like, "Dude, that sucks." So I think it's one of those things where even though they haven't confirmed anything, and it's going to be announced at E3, which I'm sure you're going to talk about here shortly, but it's going to be one of those things that they are probably looking at feedback right now, and do they really want a 7 or a 6-inch touchscreen on your controller? But there's one thing that we've learned over the years from Nintendo is that they are smarter than us.
Yeah.
They're smarter than us, and while they know stuff that they know what we want, we don't even know it yet, which is ridiculous. They always seem to be right,
Yeah.
especially except for the GameCube.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good point. A lot of times when these rumors start getting generated and stuff, I mean, they look at that stuff and they see the feedback and they'll make changes. You remember the PlayStation 3's first controller?
Oh yeah,
That
terrible,
hideous
terrible
boomerang or whatever, and everybody's making the jokes about that's how you turn the system off. You just huck it at it. Yeah.
They finally just went back to a DualShock design.
Exactly.
Now, one of my favorite part about all these rumors and all that, how it's going to be an HD console and all that, and for the hardcores, is that we predicted that
Yes.
Yeah.
in our 2011 top 10 headlines back in January.
January this year, put it together. And I love it. And you know what? You know what we're not getting credit for? Any of it.
Yeah, and then like Craig kind of hinted at earlier, the fact that all these rumors about Nintendo making a new console is true. The fact that they're making a console is true. What's going to be in there, no one knows for sure yet. And on the actual Nintendo of Japan website, basically an investor note that went out to like all their stockholders and all that, had pretty much said that Nintendo has decided to launch a hardware successor to the Wii. It will launch in 2012, and they will have playable models of it at this year's E3
yes.
in June.
That's cool.
This is it's exciting to me, and I think I mentioned this last week that this is very much like when ScrewAttack first started, and the Wii was on the way out, and we went to our first E3, and there was 6-hour lines to play the Wii and such. This is kind of how I'm
Would you
feeling.
happen to get around?
I'm just saying. But it's exciting. Anytime there's a new console release, it's an exciting
definitely.
time because you want to see what the future of gaming is. But I think that with Nintendo, especially coming off such a drastic change from where they were previously, going to the casual audience and now coming back to the hardcore, whatever it may be. And I hate the terms casual and hardcore.
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
we got to use it because they're such they're kind of there right now. But I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Nintendo and wondering how are they going to pull this off, and will they be able to take this existing market share that the PS3 and 360 owns of the hardcore and bring them back with games that are they got to be superior to the 360 and the PS3.
Well, the thing is, like, the mentality nowadays is that, like, yeah, Nintendo is casual, Nintendo's family, you know, kids games or whatever. But like, and I know they put out a couple games and whatnot, but like, you gotta remember, I mean, they used to be the leaders.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? I mean, and they know how to do it.
Well, they still.
So it's just.
I mean, don't get it twisted. They are still the leaders.
Yeah, if
when
you want
it
to
comes
go
to video
just by
games.
like console sales and all that,
That's true.
They're leader again.
But in terms of the guys who want to play Call of Duty and
Yeah.
Madden and such,
Yeah, like everybody, like, you know, SNES, you know, NES. So like, I don't know, they can definitely do it. And like 64 was really good too. And then it was just GameCube. They started focusing more on that children's market and whatever. And
You know, Chad, well, based off what you're saying, it wouldn't surprise me if Nintendo had the Project Cafe and the Wii in tandem to appeal to both markets. Because especially now that the Wii's getting their price drops and they're still crapping out just shovelware games for it, and people are still eating it up,
Right.
why not keep that going for all the families, but then have the hardcore Nintendo console for everybody else?
yeah.
it's almost like you're reading the script from the 2011 headlines. Look, if you haven't watched that video,
it out.
you need to go and watch it. And it's over on Game Trailers right now. We'll include a link in the description below. You need to go watch it. Just go watch number 1, and then go watch what we said about what we thought would happen, and then go watch what the rumors are, and you'll be like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Because, in all honesty,
we don't have a time.
we didn't have any idea of any of this stuff. The only thing we did not get right on it was that we said it was going to be 3D. And that hasn't been confirmed yet.
don't
You
know.
know,
Well,
you
very well
don't know.
could be.
None of this has been confirmed.
They
But
hinted at it.
just based off the rumors, go back and watch that and you'll be like, whoa. Because we were like, whoa, when they came out. 'Cause we're like, that's ridiculous. Because we were just throwing shit against the wall and thinking it would
Yep.
stick. So
It's like the first list.
One last tidbit that I want to throw out there, just to, in my mind, in order for the next console to be successful, is that they need to have a solid online infrastructure.
oh my gosh, beyond. Yes.
Absolutely.
It-
No friend codes.
No friend codes.
Nobody
It has
likes to put in codes.
I'm sure
man.
friend codes are going to happen inevitably, but they need to have a solid online play for like Call of Duty kind of games.
Yeah, and that's the thing, kind of what I was talking about having a superior product to the PS3 and 360 to pull that
Yep.
audience. I mean,
Legit voice chat, text chat, all those.
the Call of Duties, the Maddens, they have to look that much better, and they have to play that much better than the PS3 and 360 for those guys who own a 360 to go out and go, you know what? I want to get this new Nintendo console.
Yep.
You know?
As much as it pains me to say the word Nintendo, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
I love Madden.
Yeah, exactly. You know, whatever. All right. There you go. Of course, you'll be able to find all this information during our E3 coverage coming up in June. We'll be there, and we'll be giving you guys the rundown of our impressions of this brand new Nintendo console when it happens. So,
Sweet.
yes, big reasons to go to E3 this year. All right, so there you go. That is Nintendo talk, new console talk, and all that fun stuff. But right now, it's time for... He's warming it up.
I am.
The SideScroller News Desk.
Hit the music.
Alrighty! Now, what if I was to tell you that for the second week in a row,
Florida.
we were not going to Florida?
I would call you a liar.
I would
Well,
too.
you would be right, because we are going to But first, let's start in Mason, Ohio.
All right.
Mason, Ohio, where I don't know if I talked to you guys about this last week, but it was something that was like on the fringe of being talked about. There was a story last week where a man got arrested for barking back at a police dog. He was instigating the police dog,
I
right?
already bit it.
No, he did not bite
That was
it.
last week's.
Okay.
He was instigating it.
He was barking at a dog.
Yes.
Sure.
A man was charged with teasing a police dog by barking at it, says the city ordinance, and he's accused of breaking the and he is accused of whatever. Okay, let me start over.
Sure.
Long story short, guy barking at dog. People are mad at guy for barking at police dog, right? He is firing back and saying that they are breaking his rights, his constitutional rights of free speech. That's right, to bark at the police dog.
Technically.
I just saw Jared's brain go and just crumble. It was great.
I guess because I can't find a solid argument.
That you can't go against him because they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? You were harassing the dog." You're like, the guy can just be like, "You don't know what I was saying." In my mind, I was telling him to have a good day and that I liked his ears.
We're having a friendly chat, and you interrupted us.
Yeah.
25-year-old Ryan James Stevens, attorney, says his client was not striking the animal in suburban Mason, Ohio. The lawyer says barking may not be the most intelligent speech, but it's still speech, making it free in America. So, hey.
He's countersuing, though?
He's going
or
back
whatever?
out.
Wait, is he countersuing or is he
He's
just
suing the
defending
police
himself?
department.
He's defending, and he's defending the idea of him being arrested and such. So he's saying, I shouldn't have been arrested.
No, he got a. Wow.
Yeah.
I see kids bark at other dogs all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Stevens, the 25-year-old man, says the dog started it. And
I believe that.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, is that right, dog?
Yeah.
How dare you?
You're going to jail. What the fuck? You
You see this dog barking at him, and he just slowly turns around. He's like,
Yeah.
"Is that right?" All right. Okay. Now let's go to San Diego, California,
All right.
home of.
Saving Florida for last.
Yeah, you got to have a big triumph at the end. All right.
course.
Oh, yeah.
San Diego, California, where a man's motorcycle was stolen.
That sucks.
That does suck.
Yeah.
And on his way home, he called his buddies. He was like, "Hey, man, can you come pick me up?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So he called.
pick him up on
He
his
called.
bike.
Called a couple buddies. He hops on the back, and as they're on their way home, they see his bike drive right by him. So he's like, "What the hell?" So sure enough, guess what? They start chasing this guy, and they start following him. And they call the cops, and so this high-speed chase goes throughout San Diego
On motorcycles.
On motorcycles. These badasses are following him, and he's like, "Holy crap, that's my bike!" So they go and they catch up to the guy. The guy bails on the bike after police get into the chase. Right? They find the.
They go road rash on his
yeah.
ass.
Well,
Yeah,
They're
it's
driving
swinging
aside, start hitting
chains.
him with stuff.
The guy bails on the bike and he runs into an apartment complex, hides in this laundry place, and gets caught. But I just think it's funny that the guy lost his bike, saw it,
That's awesome.
took the
man.
initiative to track this guy down, and he
I
got his
would
bike
too.
back.
What an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah. Oh,
You're-
my bike's gone.
Yeah. You're driving home, man. Guys, today's really sucks. I spent a lot of money. Son of a bitch!
And then you're
kick his
super
ass.
happy.
Yeah,
and then you
like,
just
there
get
it is.
pissed.
Mother.
Yeah. Said I was trying to get back home. He said he lost the bike once. He didn't want to lose it again. You know. Of course.
Hell yeah. No, that's. Really
And he's
awesome.
He's so happy about the police. He said they did their job. They saved you tens of thousands of bucks.
Yeah, so the end of the
protect
motorcycle's
you.
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did
and
he-
put the bad guy in jail, and that's a special moment. So.
All right.
That's awesome.
Way to go for that.
Glad they had a good ending.
Yeah.
Speaking of good endings, let's go to Miami, Florida,
Yes. No.
where
Let's start with the massage parlor.
a man is dead.
Oh, okay.
A
Not
man
a
is
good
dead.
ending.
The end.
A man in a wheelchair is dead. A man in a wheelchair was killed by a homeless guy with a gun.
Okay.
Why was a man in a wheelchair shot by a homeless guy?
I don't know. He asked him to.
The wheelchair was stolen from the homeless guy?
No.
How did the homeless guy get a gun?
Good question. Well, here's the thing.
He paid him.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was not gunned down. He was stabbed to death, which makes it
Oh.
that much worse.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
the guy in a wheelchair, he can't really get away. I'm just okay. So he's stabbed to death after a homeless friend took exception.
Friend?
He's a homeless friend. Welcome to Ned. The homeless guy stabbed his friend after the wheelchair-bound Central Florida man was stabbed to death for excessive channel flipping on the TV.
Didn't we just have? Yeah.
I have so many questions. First off, homeless. Where did they get a television to flip their channels?
No, his homeless friend's over at the old guy's house.
Yes,
They hang out in his house?
Yeah,
yes, the
apparently.
guy in the wheelchair invited his homeless friend into his house.
If you're hanging out with homeless people, you already have problems.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
They're people, Jared.
Well,
All the homeless people on their laptops listening to this
That's
podcast
right.
are gonna take a
All you homeless
I
YouTubers.
think I'll be okay.
All right. So, anyways, the guy was stabbed in the back 7 or 8 times as the wheelchair guy's changing the channel. I guess the big question is, I mean, I think what's the statement? Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like you would think you'd watch infomercials if this guy has TV and you can't watch TV.
Hey, buddy.
He's inside a home where it's warm or cool, depending on the weather, watching television.
Yeah, hey, come on into shelter. You know, here you want to watch some TV and be entertained? Oh yeah, that'd be great. Just keep it on one channel. I got this thing. You know, it's kind of my house. So I'm
Nope.
gonna...
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is actually pretty violent because he's known him for about 3 years.
Did the guy keep wheeling away like as he's stabbing?
No, he actually threw him on the ground and started stabbing him. Like,
Oh my God.
yeah. So he was really pissed about this channel changing.
Wow.
So yeah. But the line of the story goes to the police chief when he so diligently and educationally. So diligently. I'm making this even worse.
Yeah.
Changing the channels on the television doesn't seem like a very good reason to kill somebody. Police Chief Gary Hester told
Thanks,
the Ledger.
Chief Wiggum.
That's why you're the chief.
Yeah.
Good job there, Chief Hester. All right, there you go. I'm smart. All right, there you go. That is the news desk for this week. Way to go, Florida. You
I'm
win
never
again.
going to Florida. Like in my mind, Florida is just this place where
It's like-
crazy shit happens all the time.
It's surrounded by like old people and ex-cons, and then there's the Miami Heat in the corner and Disney World in the center of it. And
Exactly.
everything outside of Disney World is this hellhole of homeless people and people in wheelchairs and old people with
Can we go to
knives.
Florida?
We've got to go to Florida.
Let's go to
someday.
Florida and just like
Just wander until we see something.
hey, tell us some crazy shit, you know, and just like talk to people. Like,
Some people say Disney is the epicenter of it all. I'm just saying.
Of the craziness?
Yes.
okay, Disney World trip, and then we wander around talking to people.
All I want.
I may not necessarily agree with that. but
All
I'm
right.
just saying. All right, so there you go. That's the news desk for this week. Way to
All
go.
right.
All right, so now we turn to Chad for the opening of his computer.
For
Oh, it's already ready. All right, forum question time. Middleman97 asks, my question is, what is the most memorable event that you have witnessed / experienced at a video game convention?
All of SGC.
Yeah, SGC was pretty wicked.
Well, if we want to do the biggest one, I would say the Sonic 4 reveal at SGC
Dude, that was so
2010.
awesome.
Yes, that was by far the
Goodness.
coolest thing ever. Yeah, I would be up there with Sonic 4 as well. And I know that we had a personal stake in it, you
Yeah,
know, but just
was the coolest
the
feeling.
electricity in the room
Yeah.
was
Oh, man.
beyond amazing in there. And to say, like, I mean, it could have, lit a city. It was pretty amazing.
That was
So,
absolutely awesome. But other than that,
what about outside
pretty much
SGC?
anything Nathan does? Because Nathan's crazy and like definitely memorable. Let's put it that way. Like, you know, if you're at a con with Nathan,
Yeah,
Keith Apicary, yeah, it's kind of scary.
Keith is
Also be
Keith's a
memorable.
unique guy who. There are days where I get phone calls, and I wonder if I'm gonna have to bust out the wallet to bail him out. And I'm not joking
gets
when I
away
say
with it.
that. Yeah, somehow he stays in character well enough to where he doesn't get arrested, which is amazing because he's literally threatened national security several times
Yeah.
in airports, and they're like, "Oh well, he's just a funny guy. Or,
Yeah.
he's really slow, whatever." So,
Oh
yeah.
man.
All right, what else?
Oh, I mean questions. I was like other stories. I'm like, I don't know. All right.
Pondering over here.
Next up, we have a video question from Omega Jim.
Recently, Sega has released a free-to-play MMO called Spiral Knights, and EA has released Battlefield free-to-play. What's your opinion and your take on this move towards free-to-play MMOs?
Free-to-play MMOs, I haven't actually really played them myself. I was always kind of curious how that actually worked. I guess the first one I probably would actually really played was Dungeons & Dragons Online, which didn't start off as free-to-play, but they went to that eventually, and I guess it got a lot more successful. But the way it makes it work is that you can get to like a certain level or get so much equipment, but if you want to get like more levels, more equipment, then you can pay just a couple of bucks to get out of there.
The microtransaction thing.
So basically, like, you pay as much as you want to get your entertainment out of it, which makes sense. But from a business standpoint, it suckers people because they're thinking, oh, I'm only gonna pay like $1 or $2. I'll get another level. I'll get a new Bastard Sword +3, whatever.
$5,000 later.
But they do it repeatedly until they're in the whole several $1,000s without even realizing it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting business model. But also, offering a game that is totally free to play is extremely ballsy. You know,
yeah.
Unless if you're a huge company and you have the ability to market your games and put the budget behind it, sure. But offering something there's a lot of small companies out there that offer free to play with the hopes of kind of building around it.
You would
pretty
need a
cool.
lot of
Maple
faith.
Story did real well, you know.
Oh yeah, that was like one of the first ones. But
Yeah.
you would need a lot of faith in your product to say it'll work if it was free, because people will want to pay for it.
Yeah, and I don't know, like as an MMO player, it's kind of WoW ruined everything else. It's like the best way to put it. I mean, like 'cause
Until
if
the Old Republic
if
comes
you
out,
play
so shut
WoW, you know, and like if you actually got into playing WoW, like when you go to any other MMO, like you may deviate off for a little bit, but then you're just like, all right, I just need to go back to WoW. You know, like it just makes you, I don't know. But there is a lot of different, I guess, style MMOs.
WoW scares me.
What?
I'm scared of WoW.
Yeah, dude,
We
it's
know.
like,
I'm scared of
We
WoW
know.
and all the people who play WoW. You all scare me.
Me not as much, so I'm not as close.
yeah, no, I don't know. It just has to be done very, very, very well, and
I want to dissect your statement. Yeah, no, I don't know. Let's go on to the next question.
All spectrum
Fine.
of opinion is covered.
Yes,
sounds good.
I agree, Chad.
Next up, we have another video question, but this time from the Big Boss 91.
What's going on, Screw Attack? G1, the Big Boss 91 here. And I was just wondering what you guys think about the way the Resident Evil series has changed over the years. You know, with like Resident Evil 5 and the Mercenaries, how it's pretty much just a third-person shooter now rather than a survival horror game. Thanks, guys.
I figured this question probably would be good for you, Jared. You're a big
Yes,
fan of the
definitely.
RE series.
You guys don't play them?
I played a little bit of 4, and everyone's like, 4 is the best game ever.
Yeah.
So I gave it a try. I tried it on the Wii, which, from what I understand, you probably should have played.
GameCube?
Yeah, the GameCube version.
Oh, the Wii port of Resident
Yeah.
Evil 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
the controls, or like the aiming was better, but the game just kind of looked muddy for some reason. But anyway, let me go start by saying this. I liked Resident Evil 5. Everyone kind of gave it crap, but I really enjoyed it. And I think the reason why I did is because I played it co-op all the way through instead of using a really crappy AI partner. So I played co-op throughout the entire game, had a blast. I never really looked at Resident Evil as a horror game, I guess, because it always been about kind of going through and shooting zombies. Well,
Yeah, no, it really was though. in the
let me
beginning,
backtrack.
you know?
Let me backtrack on
started-
that because I
Yeah.
just realized I just had a
A door
memory.
opened in your mind?
No, I was playing Resident Evil 2, and I just remember like having like 4 zombies in front of me. And I was like, oh, whatever. Blam, 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 blam. Click, 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 click.
Oh, yeah, you're out of ammo. Yeah, yeah.
And then I died, and I hadn't saved for like 3 hours.
That's the worst.
I don't mind it so much because they are going for like a different feel of horror. Instead of like running out of bullets and hiding around, they're going for just like feeling this horror of being overwhelmed.
Yes.
Which in times of Resident Evil 5, they had that. I remember being completely out of ammo, like killing one chainsaw dude with my friend. We had like an herb between us and 8 bullets, and another chainsaw dude showed up, and we were frightened. That being said, they are set for Resident Evil 6. They are going to take a different direction, which I wouldn't mind if it went back to more horror, or I guess there's a survival aspect. I always like the co-op modes, but I didn't
You know,
mind
it's
it so
really-
much. Like on their own, they're still good games.
Yeah, it's really interesting though because, like, you know, we talk about how hardcore fanboys are, you know, and like, you know, the slightest bit of change, like with Sonic,
Yeah.
with eye color and shit, but they really have really transformed that series, and I guess I think it's attributed just to how well Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
I think part of that is the early Resident Evils were kind of restricted by camera angles and
Yeah.
technology, and you had to, you know, that was based around, you didn't have an over-the-shoulder camera, so you know, it didn't feel like a third-person shooter, you know?
Yeah, I hear you.
Whereas the technology of the original games, you had a set camera, you run around, you go through the door, and you know, loading, whatever, go in. So I think that plays a large part of it too.
Well, everyone loves Resident Evil 4, and they're saying Resident Evil 5 wasn't a horror game. Well, Resident Evil 4 wasn't really horror either. Sure, a couple times something would jump out of a closet. That's not really horror, because you still had like plenty of bullets. When it jumped out of a closet, I shot with a shotgun, and then I suplexed it. Scary. I will say the upcoming Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS, which actually looks going to be more like horror-based, looks really good. I'm very intrigued by that one.
Cool. Well, there we go. All right, next up, G1 Ace Rap, I guess.
I say ass rap.
What about Ass Rape?
Really,
All
guys?
right, yeah, no problem. All right.
Now all of his friends are going to call him ass rape. Sorry, dude.
What's up, ass rape?
My bad.
It
Hey,
was these two, not me.
being a ScrewAttack fan, or at least used to be,
Oh no!
and wanting to support you guys, which site would you prefer us watching your content on? YouTube, ScrewAttack, or Game Trailers?
All of them.
I thought that was a good question.
It actually is a very good question. We definitely prefer you to watch our content on ScrewAttack. ScrewAttack on YouTube, we don't really gain anything from putting our content on YouTube as well. We spend so much time, so much effort producing this stuff, and like an episode of SideScrollers literally takes 2 days from beginning to end of production to get it started. I mean,
Because Jared's really slow for some. I'm just kidding.
But you know, while this is 30 to 45 minutes of us just hanging out, there is a lot that goes into actually making this go up on the site. So, if you're gonna watch our content, we definitely prefer you go to ScrewAttack and watch our stuff. I know that a lot of YouTubers go, "Well, your player sucks." You know, it's we're not YouTube. We're not a multi-billion-dollar company. I think our players are pretty good players. As long as your Flash player is updated, you should be just fine in watching our content. So definitely go to ScrewAttack. Obviously, stuff on Game Trailers is great too. In order of preference of where you should watch our stuff, it should be ScrewAttack, then it should be Game Trailers, then it's YouTube.
There you go.
And now you know.
Yes.
And thank you.
As always, if you do have any forum questions with the video format, we didn't really have many this past week.
Yeah, not a lot. So we encourage you guys, be creative, have fun, do video questions.
We do look
we
at
wanna
all of
see
them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, we try to limit them on a week-to-week basis in terms of how many we actually can put in, because we don't want to like have a million video questions. Yeah. But if it's good, if it's quality, and it's something we can talk about, we'll definitely include them in the show. So post a video response with your video question, make it short, make it fast, about 15 seconds long, and we'll see what we can do to include it on the show.
Yeah.
Great.
There you go.
And now we have birthdays.
All right. Hey, did we figure out what we're gonna do to?
Nope. All right. All right. G1 Killer Mime.
Okay.
Abel De La Riva, Andrew Cook, Cal Caffrey, Kevin Johnson, Cody Thomas, Beat Hill Tenchilif. If I screwed that up, my bad.
No talking. Keep going.
Jackson Marone, Shane Schliff, Kim Berglund, Caleb Bailey, Ben Blagg, Robert Nugent, and Derples the Panda.
Nugent?
I think so.
That's Win.
Oh, you're right, it is. Robert Wynn. My bad.
All right, good.
I was thinking Ted like Nugent or something. I don't know. Hey, and Derples the Panda, yeah.
Way to go. All right, there you go. That is birthdays, and there is SideScrollers for this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It was a much better show than last week. Hey, are you excited about Nintendo? Yeah.
I am.
All right, cool. I think
Yeah,
everybody's
I'm
excited.
super
New
nice.
consoles, everyone's always excited about that. So, all right, so until next week, we encourage you guys to go check out all the great reviews and all the great content we have over on ScrewAttack.com. As always, you can see the great content in the description below. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and add this episode to your favorites if you like the episode and like it. So until next week, hey, I'm Stuttering Craig
I'm Chad.
And I'm Professional Jared.
for SideScrollers on ScrewAttack.com.